If you asked people, what is the most effective ecosystem for storing CO2, they would probably say rainforests. But that's wrong. There's a secret, an environment that most people never think about. And it stores more than twice the carbon of all forests. It's the wetlands. These forgotten ecosystems are crucial in the fight against climate change, and they offer a lot more than just carbon capture. But unfortunately, they're under threat. In fact, over the last 300 years, nearly 90% of the world's wetlands have disappeared. So why are they disappearing so quickly? And what makes them so special? Wetlands are ecosystems flooded by water. They include peatlands, seagrass meadows, lagoons, mangrove forests, and swamps. They are home to 40% of the world's species, from aquatic plants to rare birds. However, there are now few of these ecosystems left. They currently cover around 2% of the Earth's surface, and yet they store more than 20% of all the organic carbon in the world's ecosystems. But how do they store so much carbon? Well, wetlands have a trick up their sleeve. Let's take a closer look and dive into the science. Carbon dioxide plays an essential role supporting life on Earth. In fact, plants and trees need CO2 in the same way that they depend on water and sunlight. They absorb carbon dioxide and water from the atmosphere through tiny pores and turn it into sugars and oxygen in a process called photosynthesis. Then they use these sugars as fuel to grow stronger, and since they don't need all the oxygen, they give it away for free. Now, usually in a cultivated field or a forest, some of the CO2 gets stored as carbon in the soil. But when plants and trees die, they decompose and release a lot of the carbon they hold back into the atmosphere. But wetlands play by a different set of rules. In a wetland, the CO2 is snatched up just like before, but when the plants and trees die, the water slows down their decomposition. And over time, layers of sediment begin to form, piling up over the dead plant matter and creating a sort of natural carbon vault. Each new layer further traps the carbon, stopping it from escaping back into the atmosphere. These layers aren't just temporary storage either. They hold onto that carbon for hundreds, even thousands of years. This puts wetlands in the major league of carbon sinks. In fact, a mangrove forest, for example, can store up to 5 times more carbon than tropical forests. But wait, this can only happen if these areas are protected. And currently, 88% of the wetlands around the world are unprotected and at risk of being destroyed. Humans pose the biggest danger because these ecosystems are often drained for building new infrastructure, like farms. But demolishing these ecosystems is dangerous for 4 main reasons. Reason 1, wetlands are crucial habitats for 40% of Earth's species. By destroying this biodiversity, the health of the planet is put at great risk. Reason 2, wetlands act as natural and sustainable water filters. Without them, there would be less clean drinking water, and making it safe to drink could become more expensive. Reason 3, these areas protect local communities against sea level rise and storms. So if you lose them, you also lose a natural flood barrier and layer of protection. And most importantly, reason 4. Although wetlands can store carbon for thousands of years, if they are destroyed, they not only lose their vital role in capturing CO2 for future generations, but they also release those thousands of years of stored carbon back into the atmosphere, making things far worse for the planet. Scientists estimate that the current destruction of wetlands unleashes over 1 billion metric tons of CO2 every year, which is more than the annual emissions of the global aviation industry. Fortunately, humans are beginning to take action. In Australia, the government is teaming up with local and indigenous communities to map, monitor and restore wetlands. UN initiatives and global efforts like the Ramsar Convention mean countries all over the world are joining forces to keep these vital ecosystems thriving, as well as introducing smart legislation and policies to make sure urban growth is in harmony with nature. Wetlands need protection. After all, they aren't just bustling biodiversity hubs, they're secret weapons in the fight against climate change. Please spread the word about climate change solutions by sharing this video and like and subscribe if you would like to see more. Thank you.